Well, hi all. Bit of an update. Not Wednesday, it's a Monday update. I've stopped doing Homebrew Wednesdays very often now. Cheers, got tea. But lots of things going on, so I thought I'd just do like a just general update. It seems about the right time to do it. I got tonight. I've been doing some good beer hunting. I've got some kit updates, and just kind of a bit more of a finer grain detail going over some of the beers that I'm brewing at the moment, and talk about where they are, and also maybe just a bit more about what's coming up for Christmas and stuff like that. Let's just first start off talk about some of the beers which are going on. I think if you saw my obviously I've got 250 subscribers now. Well, more than that now. That's quite good. But I gave you a little bit of a quick run around to show you what's going on. So I was going to talk a bit more about where most of the stuff is. I'm not going to try to bore you too much, but more kind of the interesting parts about it. So I made about, not last week, but about 3 weeks ago, I made two beers, and I made I made a wet hop IPA with my Challenger hops, and also I made a Bibble Clone, which you actually saw me drinking the other day, and that's still conditioning. I'm going to leave that until just after the end of the month, and then I'm going to start drinking it then. So I wanted to condition a bit more. That's come out fine. Nothing really more to say about it than what I said the other day. But yeah, the flavour's changing. I had a bit of a taste at the weekend, and it just tasted pretty boring actually, just pretty bland. And then as I was smelling the beer, I could smell the fresh hop flavours on my mouth and all that. So I must have had a bit of a cold, bit of hay fever going on. So I'm still quite confident it's going to really mature and grow into something really, really gorgeous. I think my barley wine, which I've got sat there, is almost finished, and with the IPA, as I just said, which has been at the back there, I tested it the other day, and it's come down to about 10-16, and it's actually, I've had it ramped up to quite a warm temperature for most of last week, for maybe 4 or 5 days, and it still doesn't seem coming down. So I think it's hit its lowest thing, which is a little bit disappointing, because I was hoping to get it in down to about 10, 12, or 10, 13 or 14. So it's got a slight bit of sweetness there, but also it's got a very strong caramel flavour to it, which I attribute to, what is it? I think it's the crystal malts I might put in there. Let's have a look at my recipe. Yeah, I think I put something like 6% crystal 60 EBC crystal malt in there, which it's not too much, I suppose. But I also used it with I made it with Marisota, so perhaps we're getting more of those kind of grains feeling and stuff like that going on there. So yeah, it's coming along. So I'm gonna kick that up soon. Hopefully, it's coming in the region. I was going for like an English IPA, so it's coming at something around. Excuse me.
Because when we get up in the morning, the first thing we're going to do is to go to the toilet. So you go to your...
Oh, we're back. Where was that? I was talking about this IPA. Anyway, it's got a very strong caramel flavour to it. Nice earthy flavours from the hops. It's not too grassy, which I'm quite happy about. I think it's been sat out there conditioning for quite a while, so that's part of the reason. It's actually, I'm just going to leave it for a few more days at about 12 degrees, then I'm going to keg it up and leave it for a few more weeks to do its stuff. Let the yeast just chew away it a bit more. Let it, the flavours mature. Okay, and coming down to the stout, I made that about 2 weeks ago, and it was a nice sunny afternoon on a Sunday, and I thought, let's just make I just wanted to make a nice normal Irish stout, maybe in a very, very low, like just down below 5%, maybe 3.8, 4%, like, you know. So I get my scale, which I'll just grab now, and I've had these salted scales for quite a while, and they do up to 10 kilograms. I think I paid something like maybe almost £40 for this, so it's quite expensive. But what I found when I used it the other day is that I found that I normally stick a bucket on here, and I think the bucket slipped off or something like that. And when it's at an angle, and also it seems to depend on how the feet are actually pressed on the ground. So it actually uses some of these feet to actually work out the weight. So if I push down on the feet, look, you can see it actually works out the average weight based on those feet. And the benefit of hindsight, and definitely since that weekend, I'm supposed to weigh that something like maybe a kilo of mouse otter and maybe 2 kilos of mouse otter and maybe a kilo of Munich, and the whole lot. And I had some dark grains and a mixture of other grains in there as well, and the whole lot came to, well, I put it all in the bucket, and then I thought that doesn't look quite right. So I got my normal weighing scale for just weigh my own weight, like, and put the bucket on there. It's about 7 kilos. So yeah, that wasn't very good. So I put another small. I put something on the right size, and then put the big bucket on top of there, and I did come up 7 kilos. So I think this brew I'm making at the moment is going to come up about maybe 7.5%, 8%. Let's have a quick look what it's. I think I did some sort of guesstimation of the yeah. So I think it's going to come up to like 7%, which will be alright. But it's fermenting out now, and I luckily had a load of the yeast left over from the IPA, which I dumped straight into that, and that really worked so well. Really worked really well. But off the back of that, let's have a kit update. So I went on eBay and bought this. This is a shipping and postal scale. I'll take it out of the box now. And about £30, not too bad. And this weighs up to 250 kilograms, which, yeah, 200 kilograms. So I can more or less stand on the weigh my own weight on there. So I think this is a better way forward, and it's going to complement I've got like some small scales I use for weighing out my hops and weighing out my chemicals and things. It's obviously good for weighing equipment. So unboxing time. What you get with it? You get a manual. Our team at Smart Weights thanks you for purchasing the Smart Weight shipping and postal scale. So the English is slightly off. I don't know where it's actually originated from, but they're made in China, but all good things come from China. Like the tea, see, that's good. Or maybe North Africa, perhaps. So let's have a look at this scale. So what you get, this looks like a power supply, a USB power supply, so you can plug it into your normal USB connector and power it up from there. So that's quite handy. But you don't actually need a external power supply. It actually works off a 9 volt battery. Okay, so you get a big plate, which is quite hefty. This has got a cover on it. I don't know whether I haven't started taking it off yet, but it seems quite scratched. But I'm thinking it's just been in packaging, like, you know, and it's just been rubbed around a bit. So hopefully it's not. Look at the pads at the bottom; they're nice and clean. So it looks as if it's not been used on the floor anyway. Also, so you got the pad there, and also externally to that you get a handset which you can just switch on. Tells you what the weight is. And I put my tea onto the thing. It tells me what the weight of my tea is, which is just about half a kilo at the moment. It's got kilograms, pounds and ounces and grams on there. And it's got tar, and that's about it really. I think there's another mode for weighing pieces, and you can actually weigh maybe batches of 25, so you can tell that your batch size is 25, and it'll actually tell you how many times you stuck these items on, how many times that 25 you got. Anyway, most important thing is hopefully I can get my bucket on here now. Stick my bucket on, loads of room. I can stick as much stuff in there, and I can have that stuck on the side, and I can see exactly how much the weight is. So yeah, there's the 12 volt battery, and there's the extra power supply, so you can plug that in. So going to test it out. Hopefully it's designed to be used in a warehouse, and it's maybe industrial strength, and it's very cheap. I mean, as I said, these scales here, kitchen ones, they must have cost almost the same price as this, and I just don't know why I didn't think to get those in the first place. But there we are, so we'll see how that comes on. Next thing, my hops. This year my hops have not come along very well. I kept waiting for dry days, and it rained, and I kept waiting for a dry day, then it rained, then I had to go to Wales for a weekend. I came back, and I tried to do a big bulk of picking of the hops on one day, and then tried to do a real big bulk of picking of the hops, and left them for a few days, and they all went mildewy, and it's not been that good really. So I got a very, 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 very poor harvest this year. I've got maybe about a kilogram of hops, and I think a good maybe about another 7 or 8 kilos have just gone to waste and been taken down the recycling tip really. I'm getting weary of Challenger hops now. I think they're nice to have, and it's nice growing them, but on the other hand I'm thinking perhaps, I don't know, I think it's a great hop to have, but it's just a bit of a boring hop as well. Can't really do much with it. I mean, I suppose I have to be adventurous and mix with other English hops, but most of the time I'm doing American brews and maybe Belgian brews. And I'm going for lots of different styles which don't really use that hop. And I think the history behind me getting it in the first place is that I was doing lots and lots of English beers when I first started out. And now my taste has changed, and I want to experiment with lots of different things. And the hops just kind of gone out of style. So that's that. So nothing really interesting to say about that. Okay, well, let's talk about beer hunting. I've been out buying. One of the beers I've got is a red IPA by Brewdog. I haven't seen this in the shops before. And yeah, it's a red rye IPA. That's about it really. This is called Slot Machine. I can't say I've seen this so far. I might have seen it in the pubs and things, but I'm looking forward to tasting that in a few weeks' time. If you've tasted it, leave a comment. Tell me what you think, and I'll most likely be sipping this weekend if I get a chance. And another one which I got some JJJ. I got two cans of it. I had one can this weekend. This is from the War Beer Company, which is half a mile down the road, and this was quite a popular beer. I bought a can. I bought 2 cans for £4.50 each. I was just looking on the Beer Emporium, whatever. So there's some sort of beer one. They're trying to sell it for £9.50. So I bought this at the one of the homebrew shops in Bristol. Not the there's two. There's Brewers Droop and there's another one. If you go to that one, which is in can't think of it now. But if you look on the map, there's 2 there, and he's actually got some in stock at the moment. And also, let me have a quick look if I can find out their address. Yeah, so if you go to Love to Brewery, he's good homebrew shop, and he has a very big selection of actually beers you can buy. You can buy. He's actually special. I mean, he does homebrew, but he's really expanded his range of beers. So you can actually buy beer online from him, and this beer too, and lots of other beers from Bristol, especially things like Good Chemistry, more. Left Hand Giant, Bristol Brewing Factory, I think it is. Bristol Beer Factory. Anyway, there's loads there. This one is a Imperial Pale Ale. Got very high ratings and definitely worth a taste. May try cloning it. I'm gonna have another. When I have this can next time, I'll savour it again, and I'll wonder I'll think whether I should maybe make another keg of it. I think the slight drawback you find with making strong brews is that you have to get through them, and I'm not really big on bottling. And if I have to bottle, I've got bottles. And I want to actually bottle something else, I haven't got room for it. Right. 2 last things. Another kit update. I made a wort chiller. I think there's loads of tutorials online how to do it. One thing that changes if you're in different parts of the world is the equipment that you can get, and I mean, if you go to America, you can't get certain fittings that you can here in the UK, and vice versa. Anyway, I'll just explain this very, very quickly. This is 8mm micro bore. This is about 10 meters of micro bore, I think, or maybe it might even be 20 meters. I think it's 10 meters. It came to about £27. I bought some very small artists copper wire and actually tied it together in places all around the side here. So there is a bit of a gap. There's enough of a gap to get the for the air to get in, well, the liquid to flow around there. It's not getting clogged up much with anything, and definitely stick copper wire on because it just stops it from going all flexing around and be like pain in the arse. On here I've just bent all this by hand. One word of caution: if you do try bending these things, you try to get it bending well, but just do it very, very slowly. Try to bend it against something. I've got 8mm down to 12mm connectors on here, I think that is. You can get those 8mm to 12mm connectors. You can get those at Screwfix in the UK. And I bought these connections here for 20p each at Wilco's. They're on sale. What you may find is that you'll have to stick a bit of Teflon on to stop them from leaking, which I've done, and this is doing me well. It's getting I'm combining this with my outside panel chiller on my Baumeister, and it's getting the brew down in under, I think the last one did about 20 minutes. With the water temperatures dropping now, in the next few weeks it'll be down, hopefully in 15 minutes it'll get the whole lot down in no time at all. Happy, I'm really happy that my brew days have got a bit shorter. It's does two things obviously. One, shortens the day. Two, it actually helps all the sediment drop out really quickly, and you can get pour it off really quickly as well. What else can I say about this? Measuring it out. I designed this. I actually got a pot which is the right size, like everybody seems to have the right size. But this is just enough to go between just inside the just inside the heating elements, but not so that it actually touches onto any of the other bits which are in the middle, things like the pumps and the thermometers and things. So that's worked well. I definitely recommend anybody who's looking for a wort chiller to just not one together yourself. Don't be scared. It's very easy. I think I made one for my old system, which cost nothing as well. And as you can see, I haven't had to do any welding or anything anywhere on here. No welding at all. Fair enough, I haven't made it that smart, but it's just a case of bolting these two bits on the end here and doing a bit of bending. Right, let me move on. Last thing, coming up, I'm going to be making a few Christmas cakes for my friends and my family, little Christmas boxes. I'm hoping to get hold of some for 5 litre mini kegs. I'm thinking about sourcing them locally. I know some local brewery that sells them, and I'm going to have to pluck up the courage, go and ask them. I know they've got loads of them spare, so I'm going to do that. And that's me. Thank you for watching me. Hopefully it's been interesting, and I will see you all soon when I do next brew day or anything else which comes to mind. Anyway, cheers guys and ladies.